Just after the second Niger Bridge lies a community that is fast becoming the heartbeat of development.
And right here sits Vienna Estate, an estate designed for those who understand value, growth, and legacy.
At Vienna Estate, every plot comes with certificate of occupancy, giving you full security and confidence, which shows that your investment is 100% legitimate. It is a buy and build estate with instant allocation, so the moment you secure your legacy, you can start building your dream right away.
Choose the size that fits your vision. 300 square meter for compact luxury, 600 square meter for family homes, 900 square meter for those investors who want more space for more class, more luxury, and more return.
Vienna Estate is ideal for leisure homes, service apartments, and film houses, perfectly positioned to tap into Asaba's fast-growing entertainment and hospitality sector. But that's not all. It is also perfect for resort villas, creative hubs, short-let apartments, and retirement homes that guarantees steady income.
With direct access from Asaba Benin Expressway, you are connected to the city, yet surrounded by calm nature and promise.
Vienna Estate isn't just a land, it's a lifestyle, a statement, a secure investment that appreciates while you rest.
Whether you are buying for your family, for your future, or even from abroad, this is your chance to own a part of tomorrow premium address.
Vienna Estate is where value meets lifestyle.
Being Shalom Park, it's been and it's amazing. All the plots have been fully demarcated, fully fenced, and work is continuously going on here. And it's a symbol of what we stand for, that when you buy from us, you have guaranteed peace of mind and you are sure of capital appreciation. And today again, at Shalom Park, in our Kelem community in Ngobara, we stand as a test that when you invest with us, you are sure to reap maximum returns. We want to see you on our next allocation batch, and it's going to move all through December. I welcome you all to a new dispensation of when you buy land, you get instant allocation. With Latera, a lot of things are possible for you. But first, it starts with you believing you can be the one. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Overflow Mindshift section with Benedict Obiajulu. It's amazing to be here. I'm excited. I told you before, Tuesdays are always my favorite because I get the opportunity to move my mind from where I know to where I don't know. And my growth starts from when I admit that I don't know and I get to learn something new. And this evening is another opportunity for you to learn something new. So as always, make sure your pen is available and your writing materials. Anywhere you know you're watching us from right now, please write your name and where you're watching us from in the comment section so that I can give a shout out to you, because I appreciate you watching us and being able to get the knowledge you are giving out here. Okay, Mr. Chukwulozie from Nigeria, we welcome you. We welcome you, every other person that is watching us right now. Please don't forget to write, to share the link to your friends, because wealth is built in community. And it is in this community that we feel the satisfaction when we know that every person is building something big. So that's how it's going to be. And already, what I always love our speaker for today is that punctuality is always there. He's already here and already ready. Last week, we were able to learn something massive. And if you missed out on it, I have good news for you. You can actually watch it on our page, in our YouTube page. You can actually watch it. You can go back and check the previous videos. And make sure you don't miss this evening's own, because something massive is about to happen. And I'm very excited because our speaker is already ready. And without wasting much of our time, I would actually put him on stage. Mr. Onyebuchi Maxwell, also from Nigeria, welcome. We Welcome, everybody. Please don't feel shy to write your name in the comment section. I will just send a shout out to you. So, like I said, last week we were able to learn something very massive, which is interesting. And this week, another one is about to happen now. So, I want to welcome Mr. Benedict Obiajulu. Good evening, sir. It's so good to have you again this evening.
Good evening, Mike. It's a beautiful Tuesday evening, and it's nice to be here. Last week we had the beautiful section, and you did so
Yes.
well anchoring that section. Welcome everyone. It's 6 minutes past the hour of 8, and today we're going to drill a bit deeper into learning the concept of selling. Last week we learned about networking from one of real estate finance, Honorable Tangot Samuel Uchenna, and today we're going to learn how okay, a friend of mine was talking to me today, not an acquaintance, I would say. We used to be, we went to the same university, but different classes. And he said something, he was telling me about the concept of capital, how it's difficult to raise capital. And I was trying to communicate some message with him, but he wasn't getting it clearly. And that is the concept of raising capital. And one of the easiest ways to raise capital is the ability to sell. There are a lot of ways, right? I was discussing with him that you could raise capital from selling, you could raise capital from, because revenue is the easiest form of capital. Most companies don't go out of business because they were not funded. They go out of business because they're not selling. Okay. And that said, I want everyone to that is on this call currently share the link. Remember to share the link. When you share the link, you're doing the world a lot of good. You're doing the world a lot of good. You're creating solid links that could be your backbones in the time of adversity, because there are seasons of life. And if you build a solid community, a knowledge-based community, you'll be able to scale. Another way that I told him that you could build capital, it's funny, it's knowledge, because the world will pay for higher knowledge. You could come if you have knowledge of real estate, you could be good in flipping, land flipping. If you have knowledge, you could be cleaning, good in land banking, and you could even sell your knowledge and a high amount of money from that. So, and you could even sell it literally as a piece of paper, and maybe you have written down, and that's that. So today we're looking at selling, since because that conversation made me to find out that selling is the ultimate way to grow capital. That's it. Right. So even if you're a developer, you may not have you may want to do 100 units of building and you don't have the money, right? You could go down and sell off plan. Off plan means these houses have not been built, but you're selling it already. So please, let's invite persons. I want a lot of persons to be on this call. Welcome everyone, and it's nice to have us here. Let's remember, wealth can only be created in community. The community you create will be the community that the day you seek advice is from their knowledge base, that they will give you those advice. From the day you need financial support, it's from what they have learned that they have been able to create something better. So today, let's drill on selling like an institution. So how do we master the act and real act of selling? Right. Why it is important is that selling is an act, and if it's an act, it's learnable. So people could have a more in because of their personality type, they could be more drawn to selling, right? But because it's an art, it's learnable, and because of it's learnable, it can be improved upon. Okay, and so with that, we understand this concept that I'm hitting up today. Okay, so he said to succeed in sales, boldness and persistence is important. And one of my all best classic books, I said to succeed in sales, boldness and persistence is important. Now, one of my all best classic books written by Bob Proctor, which is You're Born Rich. One of the lines says, it says, what you achieve in life is directly proportional related to the persistence of your faith and the intensity of your faith. And somehow I define faith as persistence, right? Believing that something is going to happen, you've not seen it, and you keep walking towards it. Your ability to persist is a proof that you believe, right? So to succeed in sales, boldness is important. Boldness and persistence. So take courage to get up, to take courage and get up each day and constantly face the fear of rejection. What brings that? And failure. What happens? You are able to go up, right? So these things are of critical importance. Critical importance. Please. So I don't know if we are following and we're getting what we're saying, right? Selling is the ultimate way to grow capital. Yes. Selling is the ultimate way. There are other ways, right? But it's selling. You may sell the business idea or whatever. So we've said that selling is learnable. We have said it. Selling is learnable. It's you could be, there's something we call conversion ratio, your ability to convert the sales, right? So courage is a habit. Courage is a habit, as just like boldness. Remember, selling needs two ingredients for you to be able to grow in it. It is selling, it is boldness. You could translate as courage. It is persistence, and when you persist, when you're taking these two tones, you're trying to know, okay, what went wrong in this sales process? Selling, for instance, is like it's like it's just like a factory goods. It's like how do we convert this rubber to a pen? Or how do they convert sand to a glass? So it's not something you do haphazardly. And if you do it haphazardly, it will work for you some of the time, but you will not be able to grow in it, and your graphs will be growing. That for surely you can look at your paper and you can look at your book and you can see that you are getting better in it, right? So courage is a habit, and like the muscle, the more you practice courage, the stronger you become. Courage is like a habit. Excuse me, they've taken the light. Can I have this fan here? So as important that is, let's work on these things. So eventually you reach the point at which you are virtually unafraid. Eventually you'll get to that point. You'll become unafraid because of the persistence. And there is a fear of rejection. And one of my mentors will say that when you're starting out in sales, you should be counting the number of persons that reject you. And you know that once this one rejects you, the next one will not reject you. It's the parable of the sower. I see it as selling. Some will fall on the good ground. Some will fall on the bad ground. Some will fall on the bad ground, right? And some will fall on the good ground. And that is same for you in your message. So rejection is part and parcel of the sales game, QED. So you must grow the courage to accept those rejections. And when you go to the book called Think and Grow Rich, it has a chapter dedicated to persistence. And one of the goal, and what it says in that book is persistence is to man what carbon is to steel. So what it says is that when you remove persistence from man, he ceases to be a man. He ceases to be someone that people could that he can stand as a statue of honor. So, and now we are hearing that persistence in selling is the same. Persistence is to man what carbon is to steel. right? So, and funny enough, if selling creates income, income is your admission letter to the door of wealth. Don't forget it. You want to create wealth, no matter how lofty and beautiful and magnanimous that idea is, you cannot be admitted to the doorway to the class to let's say it's a club. You cannot be admitted to that club if you do not have income. Hmm? You cannot be admitted to big business without capital. Remember where we started from? We started this section from of a discussion I had with an acquaintance of mine on African and capital space. And I took time to analyze. And there are a lot of ways to get capitals, but one vital way and one quick way is your ability to sell. Okay, so these are important for us to look at this. So I want us to run through quickly 5 solid ways. We should have been taking it one per week, right? But we'll see what we can do, and I want to run us through it, right? 5 solid ways to master selling. And if you're able to get this concept, you'll be able to understand selling as a factory mechanism. So today I was doing some sales calls and talking to some persons. And when I picked the phone, and I just focused on long time acquaintances, people I went to secondary schools with, people I went to universities with, and some of them, when I call them, I'm trying to know how you doing, how have you been, and I'm prospecting, right? So the second thing, immediately when I'm done prospecting, I'm trying to qualify the client. This product, is it good for this client? Right? So if I qualify the client and the prospect, sorry, is not yet a client, and the person passes, just like I pass it to the next funnel, right? In that way, and the next funnel I will not present my product after my qualification. Is this person qualified, right? And then from the normal, you should be expecting objections. So I get objections. If there is interest, there will be objections, there may be questions. It's not, there may be questions. Not really that the person doesn't want, but you will have critical questions to ask you. And then sometimes, very rarely, you tend to close the deal immediately, but most times you do follow up, because we know that 80% of sales occur between the 5th follow-up to the 12th follow-up, right? And then after the follow-up, you close the deal. After the closing the deal, you are able to ask for referrals. And so that's the genesis of this selling like an institution. Our ability to understand the pathway, the journey, how you can sieve people off within the journey, right? I had the persons that I spoke with, around 4 of them, and when I qualified them, I found that they are not yet in the bracket of the persons I should be talking to for that product. We can be talking, but not on the product. I can't do a presentation for them. They are not in the mood. They are not in the season. They are not in the product is not for that. Right? So they fell off the ladder. Why some persons, I did my presentations, and so I go into the third step. So let's start. So what are the 3 ways that we can master selling as an institution? Remember what we've said. We've said that to succeed in sales, 2 things are critical: boldness or courage, and what? And persistence. And we said that persistence is to man what carbon is to steel. So for you to really be a man in the arena, for you to be someone that grows in your ability to sell, in your ability to drive the market, that one and foremost of them is that you must be persistent. And we also drew something from one book written by Proctor, which is Born Rich. That what you achieve is directly what the man achieves in life is directly proportional to the intensity and the persistence of his faith. And in that line, I had said that faith can be tamed resistance. Because when you believe, you will pursue, you will endure. So for you to have courage is they get up and you constantly face fears of rejection and failure. At a point, courage is a habit, boldness is a habit, and it's like a muscle. What happens? The more you practice courage, the stronger you'll become. And eventually you will reach a point at which you are virtually unafraid. You're virtually unafraid. You're virtually unafraid of talking to a prospect. So if now you still talk to a prospect and you're afraid, you have not gotten to that point. When you see a new prospect and you're talking to the person and you're afraid, you have not gotten to that point. But it says eventually you reach that point at which you are virtually unafraid. And after that, right? After the fear stage, after that, and you persist. Remember, we say it's a muscle. You keep at it and you keeps getting better. Your career takes off like a rocket. Now you can sell to anybody, you can network with anybody. We saw our speaker last week and he talks of how he networks with anybody anywhere, and which I have seen him do in a blink of an eye. Okay, so let's remember, we grow by community, you grow by community, and let's remember to share the link. Remember to share it on your WhatsApp group, share it on your Facebook. Let people join the call, and through it, learn. And through that, we can democratize knowledge and make capital a thing of the past in Africa, right? So selling like an institution, one is think like an advisor, not a seller. Think like an advisor. Think like an advisor. Think like a real consultant. Think like an advisor. What do people really want to buy? Your job is not to sell what you are selling. Your job is to find out how what you are selling can solve what the client wants to buy. Whether it's food, whether it's water, whether if it's clothing, whether if it's status you're selling, whether if it's legacy, whether if it's growth, whether if it's security, whether if it's opportunity, whether if it's capital that you're selling. Because sometimes land banking schemes are mostly the land banking lands are mostly capital you're selling. They could be security, they could be insurance against failure, you could be selling the school fees of kids that want to go to abroad. It could be better education you're selling in terms of their fees. So what do people really want to buy? Nobody wants to buy land. What they want to buy is what the land can do for them. And that is why the first law of selling, if you do most of the talking, you are not in charge of the deal. You are to direct the talking, you are to direct the framework through intelligent questions so you can really find out what the client wants to buy. And then that way, you are like a doctor. When you go into the doctor's office, you do most of the talking. You talk from here to the next place. You talk everywhere. And then from there, he keeps asking you questions. And that is the same way you should diagnose the client. Excuse me. Right? As important that is where we are. Right? So welcome everyone. More persons have joined the call. It's beautiful. So welcome everyone. And we are dealing on selling like an institution. Right? So what do people really want to buy, and how can you be the advisor? How can you be the person? How can you provide advice on it? And sometimes you say, no, how am I to advise this person? According to Warren Buffett, he says something striking. He says that I think he says Wall Street is a place that someone pulls up in a Rolls Royce to take advice from someone that does what? That takes the subway. Okay, let me explain. What that means is that this worthy man pulls up with his chauffeur in while sitting at the back of his Rolls Royce and shows up at Wall Street and calls his stockbroker, who happens to take the subway. The cheapest means of transport in the US is the train. That's what they call the subway. And he asks him, which stock are we going to buy today? And the man tells him, okay, let's buy this, let's buy this, let's buy this. Although that's what he's trying to see in that analogy is because that most of the stockbrokers, all they're interested about is their fees. If they've wanted to, they've not been able to have the financial education to be able to create wealth. And this man in his Rolls Royce has been able to create wealth. So he could as well as take these businesses, study them as businesses, and not look at them as stocks. That's why when you listen to a lot of his messages, a lot of his talks and public speaking, you hear him refer. He doesn't call them stocks; he calls them pieces of businesses, right? And so, because you say, "Oh, this man is up there," I can't give him an advice on that. I'm 25, I'm 20, I'm 18, and this client is 50. He has seen more life than me. Yes, he has seen more life than you, but you are to be treated, and you are to first of all assume in your mind's eye, see yourself as an advisor and find out what is the purpose of that investment. What is it? Okay, so what do people really want to buy? Then you advise them on it. They are buying security, they're buying growth, they're buying opportunity, right? Then the second one is what we call mastering prospecting. Mastering prospecting. I have a line that says that if you do not constantly have a prospecting lead or a prospect lead, if you don't have a prospect list, you cannot be enlisted to prosperity. You see now how our Dangote is going around getting prospect list of people that will invest in his IPO. You're seeing it, but maybe you're too big to have prospect list, to have clients list, have customer, the clients that will buy from you. Making, okay, this person is going to buy, I'm going to talk to him. You're not making a list of potential persons that will buy from you. You see it. So how can you be enlisted into prosperity? It is not possible. It's not in this world. Maybe it's in the next. If you don't keep a prospect list, you cannot be enlisted into prosperity. Not today. You may try tomorrow, right? So you should have habits. Remember, we talked about habits in terms of courage. We said persistence and courage. And so you should have a prospecting habit, a prospecting habit, a prospecting habit, because you must prospect these people and you will qualify them. And most times, if you prospect 100 persons, 10 persons, 5 or 6 will fall off, depending on where you are starting life from and the class of persons you're prospecting. Right? So, daily prospecting, networking. We talked about that last week, so I won't deal on that. Follow up and follow up strategies. The follow up strategies. Follow up is not stalking. Stalking is not follow up. Follow up is also not disturbing. Follow up is giving more value, giving more knowledge, adding more layers of information to the one you have already added. Follow up can even come in form of little gifts, could come in form of birthday wishes, could come in form of weekly prayers. This is Africa. People love prayers. You can be following up on a client, and you can just wake up on the Monday morning, and on this Monday morning, this week is blessed for you. As you go out this week, things will work, clients will work, open doors will work in Jesus' name. Amen. That is it. And it's a follow-up. Right? And not this is Monday morning, you're making that land payment today. The former will work better than this letter. Though depending on the level of relationship, right? So if you don't have a prospective list, you cannot be listed to prosperity. We've said that. And so number 3, quickly, we're looking at understanding human psychology. Understanding human psychology. Understanding human psychology. It's funny, but we know everybody on this call, right? What makes humans buy? What makes you buy? What makes you buy that your boyfriend? What makes you buy that your wife? What makes you buy that your husband? What makes you buy? What makes you buy into that your friend? What makes you get people's buying? What makes you buy the type of shoes you buy? You buy basically on emotions, right? And then you justify based on logic. So how can you tackle that psychology in humans? Why do majority of presidents and world leaders that go through the ballot keep 0 BS? Why? It's psychology. It's psychology of selling. Why do people trust someone just on his showing up and on his dressing and trust the other person? Why? It's human psychology. Why do the kind of clothes people wear tend to show if they can be trusted or not? You see people for the first day and you're lady like, oh, I don't like him. And that same person, the person could change his attire, change his clothes, and just show up in a different mood, and you are like, you like him. So have you been able to study that human psychology? So what makes people buy? Science has proven people buy based on emotions and take the rest of the time to justify it through logic. So how can you go into their emotions and make your sales pitch to their emotions and not to their logic? We have learned several times on this call and outside and in our physical trainings that futures are not what people buy. The same way you see you bought into that boyfriend of yours, into that girlfriend of yours, into that your wife, right? And you bought not maybe because of the way he smiles. You know naturally that this guy is ugly, right? No, you know that this girl is not, she's not, she knows she's ugly. You just know. But you are just like, okay, there are other things. But you bought the goods. Then you spend time logifying it. So I ask you again, have you thought of understanding human psychology? So it's a whole lot of things. It has to do with age, it has to do with the bias. And one of the books I would recommend for us to be able to understand is a whole lot of concept. And I think it's the best book on selling so far that I have read, right? That I could recommend. And it's called The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. The Psychology of Selling by Brian Tracy. Right. So you'll be able to understand that. You'll be able to understand why do people buy when it's FUMO? Why do Nigerians, not even Nigerians, everybody wants to, people FUMO a lot. FUMO is fear of missing out. They just hear, oh, this thing is ending today. And then all of them start rushing in. So how can you use FUMO to bring them in? How can you let the person know that he will miss this opportunity? How can you let the person know, oh, because FUMO is used in different seasons. Oh, guy, there are seasons of life, right? And every man has a season. And you could be talking to a prospect and you understand that this guy is in his raining season, he's in his abundant season, and you remind him that after this season, there will be another season. There are seasons of plenty, and there are the other seasons that will come, which is constant, right? And after that, another abundance will come. But when you invest during abundance season, when it's dry season, people will not even know because you will still be balling. So FUMO, what of understanding human psychology of status? One of our best guys that have done that is our socialite, Obi Kubana. Go and drink Glevindish. I was discussing with some of my senior friends today, and I'm not so much I'm not into drinks, and he was saying he's drank 18 years, 21 years, and I learned there's one for 50 years that he called, I think, the gold or whatever. And beautiful concept. And he was like, that when he takes his time to drink these things, that he noticed that they're almost and the same in terms of test, just very slight difference, but the price variations are wide. And what do you think about it? It's not the drink that are drinking when people order it. It's the status. It's the status. And that's psychology. When people tell you, oh, this estate, this actress has bought land in it, you'll be a neighbor to this person, is it still land they're selling? No, it's status they're selling. Oh, this is the first smart city in Asaba. You be a part of it. You think when you have that message, you're selling land or you're selling a living space? No, what you're selling have changed. You're selling status, and you have to know. So how do you? And is everybody you sell status to? The answer is no. So there's something I think that I poured into my head growing up, and that is the real way to. Okay, I think I have it like this. The real way to look rich is by owning luxury cars. The real way to look rich is by owning luxury cars. So when you show up, your presence is announced and the rest of them. Why the real way to be rich is by what? Is by owning assets that protect you. Is by owning assets, is by owning lands, is by owning assets that produce, that fund your living, by owning assets that fund your living, right? Which land could be a major part of that portfolio, real estate and the rest of that, right? So understand human psychology. Then number 4 is build trust before you pitch. Build trust before you pitch. Build trust before you pitch. Without social media footprints, where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Build trust before you pitch. That is why, whilst you start your real estate journey, you must start with family and friends. While you start your real estate journey, you must start with family and friends. You must start with family and friends before. You must start with family and friends. Why? Because you have to build trust before you pitch, before the strangers will give you their money. They have to watch and see that you've been able to do some things. The currency of real estate is credibility, is consistency, is your ability to stay in the game. It's transparency and it's professionalism. Don't forget it. Yeah, we know family and friends is to feed you, is to get you from A to B. And then, but the money of strangers will make you rich. Family and friends won't make you rich. But what I'm saying is that while you're first selling to family and friends, if you're at that stage, you are putting up content, you're showing up on social media spaces, you're talking to people, you're building the traction, you're talking to schoolmates, the persons you're talking to, your neighbors, you're talking to people in your workspace. But people have to see consistency, they have to see credibility. Because funny, that is the currency of real estate. Trust. That is. Because the person is not going home with the land, he's not carrying the land on his head. And for you to be trusted, you must show up. When you show up consistently, people just trust you. That's why we say that when you keep showing up, you become the show. Because when enough people trust you, whatever you have, you will sell it in the market. You will, even if you start 1,000 houses and you ask people to pay for it, they will pay for it, and you use their money. They will order it to build their houses and deliver it to them. Okay, so it is important. Remember, we started with think like an advisor, not a seller. Master prospecting. And we said, if you don't have a prospective list, you cannot be listed to prosperity. And we talked about understanding human psychology, how people use emotions to make decisions that they will buy, and they spend all their years, all the rest of the time using logic to justify their emotions. How do you trickle that emotional base? And I said, if you want to look into that concept, I think I drew an analogy of how most world leaders, or 80% of self-made billionaires, I know it's a concept that is really battling, but when we say self-made billionaires, we always refer to the persons that they started from cradle, or started from cradle in the financial their financial life, and they were able to rise to billionaire status. Take 90% of them, they keep 0 years. And presidents and top pastors, as we know, pastors and politicians make the best salespeople. Those people are at the top of that. They keep 0 years. Why? It's psychology, right? So it's human psychology. Find out. So we talked about FUMO, we talked about status, why people buy for status, wealth, family legacy, right? Some people have wealth psychology, so they only want to do things that will lead them to wealth. Why some persons, as funny as it may sound, have not trained their mind to have wealth psychology. And the fourth one, we talked about building trust before you pitch, building trust before you preach. You pitch. That is why most times when they bring someone to your church, your pastor will tell you, this is who this person is, this is who this person is, and this is who this person is. Because he's trying to build trust within your mind so that you could accept the message of the person. So build trust before you preach, you pitch. Build trust before you pitch, especially when you and this also works in it doesn't work in every setting, right? Because I'm not telling you, when you as you're prospecting, remember, when you go out to prospect, you are not going out the first day to prospect, except you're doing a market storm, except you're doing a market activation. But if it's for someone you've known, you are going there to collect the numbers and to talk to the person over time, right? And clean it up. So there are ways to do this thing. The fifth one is creating a repeatable system. Or do I say creating a repeatable sales process? Yes, that's better. Creating a repeatable sales process. Creating a repeatable sales process. Creating a repeatable sales process. Your sales process must be repeatable because you are in a sales factory. You are a sales factory. You're a sales factory, so it's a repeatable sales process. So your sales process is like a factory. I tried to draw an analogy with it while we were starting. And what is a sales process as a factory? What is it in terms of being repeatable? You prospect. Remember, we said if you don't have a prospect list, so if you don't have, that's why I always encourage, have a broadcast list. Some of the biggest names in the industry, I can even call his name, right? But let me just keep it. I still receive broadcast from him. Top Shot, my mentor, my oga, I receive broadcast from him at least twice a week. And that is a form of follow-up that he's doing through those broadcasts. Because of my ability to have seen the consistency of the message and how busy he is, I now am able to deduce that is what? It's a broadcast. You don't even have one. It shows you are not servicing your prospect list, right? Remember, it's the contacts that you have that you will turn to prospects. It's the contacts you get that you will service that will lead to contracts. That will be the ones to sign the sales contract of the land that you are selling. They will be the one to sign the sales contract of the glass you are producing, whatever it is, right? So have a prospect list, then you qualify the prospects. In the present day Nigeria, a civil servant that lives based on civil servants and is not and maybe earns 300 to 500,000 per month, and You have weighed this man, you've been able to qualify him. You shouldn't be selling a product of 100 million to him, except he had to wait for money or inheritance money, because he may not be able to afford it. But the business tycoon may. The diaspora in Nigeria will, depending on the category of the business and where he finds himself. So most times, some of them don't also have large chunk of capital, but broken down, they will, right? On instrumental basis. So qualify them. So you keep a prospect list, you constantly qualify them. Where can this client fall in? Can he fall into 50,000 per month? Can he fall into 10 million per month? Can he fall into a product of 50 million per month? And then you also select your niche while prospecting. You shouldn't cover everything in the bracket space. Oh, you're selling to, if you want 50 million naira land, talk to me. If you want 5,000, 500K, talk to, oh no, it's not good for you, right? So starting out, you could be mixing your hand, but when you select your sector, it's very important. So prospect, we're talking about how to build a sales factory. Like selling should be a system, not luck. It should be a system. That's what we're building on. So we'll talk about prospect. After prospecting, you qualify the prospects. And when you qualify is when you drop or you continue. Remember, in a factory, when things are passing, some things go off and the input keep going. So the prospects that pass for the product you're looking at to give to them, you move down to what? You present. You now do your presentation. You now see, oh, this product is good for this person. Sometimes the person might just be in a stage of his life that the product is not best fit for him. Okay, example, a man could be 60 or 70 and he wants a place where he will do his retirement home. And then you're prescribing a land banking option for him. When will he do the retirement home? But a young man could be in his 20s or in his 30s and is thinking of where he's going to do his retirement home. You could prescribe a land banking solution for him. And that's it. Right? So you qualify, then you present. You do your presentation. This is what I'm offering. This is. And remember, when you are prospecting, qualifying is you are asking a lot of questions. You are being the doctor, you are being the advisor to know which product can help solve this man's challenge. Is he security? Is he growth? Is he opportunity he's seeking? Then you handle objections. You will have questions. You will have, and then you will say, oh, let me talk to my wife. Oh, let me, you get it. And then you can say, okay, can you fix a meeting? I would like to talk to your wife. Then what is stopping you from making a commitment today? How can we address it? Most times you get those objections. When you finish presentation and it goes silent, it's not a good one. You're supposed to trigger to get into the next stage, which is their objections. Those questions that are asking in their mind, they need to voice it out so that you can handle it. Because if they don't voice it out, those objections will object the deal. Remember, when they shout objection, my lord, the client is shouting objection in his mind. You need him to shout it with his mouth so you can handle the objection. Okay? Not, I want to go and talk to my wife. Oh, I want to think about it. Okay, sir. What specifically do you want to think about? Is it the location of the land, or where do you need clarity to help improve your thoughts? It's important, right? And so then after the handling objections, very little few sales will close out outrightly. That's correct. Even when you say what is holding you from making your first deposit today, or clean of what is hindering us from proceeding right now. Even at that, very few from statistics will close, right? Maybe 3%, sorry, maybe 30% of all sales. The majority of sales, but when you start getting better, that increases to 50%. Then you will now have follow-up, a lot of follow-up. And what are your tactics for follow-up? Follow-up is not being disturbance, it's mostly you have a broadcast list. If you are in Africa, you are sending prayers on a Monday morning, encouraging them, blessing their day, wishing them a beautiful week, wishing them a beautiful. It could even entail sending gifts when you know that the client is a client, the prospect is a prospect, right? Then you close up. Close up is the act of collecting the money, where he's getting the deed and you're getting the money for the land. And when that is done, you move over to what? To referral. Who can I do this magic that I have done for you? Who can I be a solution to that have been for you? That can be your system. Prospecting, qualify, present your presentation, handle objection, follow up, close, and referral. 7 ways. So they must be in your sales factory. They must be in your sales factory. Never stop at presentation. Ask for the objection. Ask for the objection. Ask for the objection. Ask for the objection. Okay, my people, I would like to take questions. With what we've dealt with today. I want to leave us early. It's nice having a lot of us. Oh, Mubarak, how are you? It's beautiful to see you again. Paul, how are you doing? Everyone, it's nice to be here. Sandra, welcome. Charity, it's nice to be here. Uche, welcome. Everyone, it's beautiful to be here. Dr. Priscilla, watching from Enugu, it's nice to be here. Zaba, welcome, and Maxwell. Oh, Madam Vivian, I see you. So every one of us is nice, and I hope we've been able to pick a lot of things from here. Mr. Nyebuchi, I see you. Who was here? Welcome everyone, and I want to know, have we been able to pick things from this section? These sections, are they being productive? We're learning something, and I've been able to show us that selling like an institution is possible. Selling like an institution is possible. It first starts with having a prospective list. That's what I've been able to establish from beginning. And before we started, I told us that courage and persistence are the raw ingredients to building a wall of honor or a symbol of honor in the sales profession. And selling is one critical way to raise capital. So you're looking for capital in Africa, sell. You're looking for capital in Africa, sell. You're looking for capital in Africa, sell. So it's nice. I want to get feedbacks. Did we get value from this section? Did we get value from this section? Did we get value from this section? What did we learn today? I think I would like us to go on a bit of a commercial break while maybe play one of our commercials while we get feedbacks. And if you have questions, I would love to have them on the dashboard. On the chat box, and we'll take it up from there. We have only 7 minutes. So media, over to you. Can you play one commercial? And that would be a nice one. To be in Shalom Park, it's amazing. All the plots have been fully demarcated, fully fenced, and work is continuously going on here. And it's a symbol of what we stand for, that when you buy from us, you have guaranteed peace of mind and you are sure of capital appreciation. And today again, at Shalom Park, in our Kelem community in Ngobara, we stand as a test that when you invest with us, you are sure to reap maximum returns. We want to see you on our next allocation batch, and it's going to move all through December. I welcome you all to a new dispensation of when you buy land, you get instant allocation. With Latera, a lot of things are possible for you. But first, it starts with you believing you can be the one. Thank you.
Just after the second Niger Bridge lies a community that is fast becoming the heartbeat of development.
And right here sits Vienna Estate, an estate designed for those who understand value, growth, and legacy.
At Vienna Estate, every plot comes with certificate of occupancy, giving you full security and confidence, which shows that your investment is 100% legitimate. It is a buy and build estate with instant allocation, so the moment you secure your legacy, you can start building your dream right away.
Choose the size that fits your vision. 300 square meter for compact luxury, 600 square meter for family homes, 900 square meter for those investors who want more space for more class, more luxury, and more return.
Vienna Estate is ideal for leisure homes, service apartments, and film houses, perfectly positioned to tap into Asaba's fast-growing entertainment and hospitality sector. But that's not all. It is also perfect for resort villas, creative hubs, short-let apartments, and retirement homes that guarantees steady income.
With direct access from Asaba Benin Expressway, you are connected to the city, yet surrounded by calm nature and promise.
Vienna Estate isn't just a land, it's a lifestyle, a statement, a secure investment that appreciates while you rest.
Whether you are buying for your family, for your future, or even from abroad, this is your chance to own a part of tomorrow premium address.
Vienna Estate is where value meets lifestyle.